VC Jeff here with a quick contest entry. Love supporting other channels with the contests and everything. And this is for Robert's on my turntable. He is celebrating 4 years in the VC. If you recall, I had a contest a month or so ago that was 5 years, so I guess I'm just a little ahead of him there. But yeah, so let's jump on board this and celebrate this. And what he wants to see is 4 albums by your favorite bands with their 4th album. So anyway, I hope I got that right. The 4th album of 4 of your favorite bands. So anyway, favorite bands, hard to say. I mean, I've got so many bands that I love for so many different reasons. So I picked 4 that are pivotal bands that I've got so many favorites. But let's just stick with some of the ones that I can call some of my favorites. So Dream Theater. Now, I'm sure by now you all have heard, anybody who's a fan, that Mike Portnoy is back in Dream Theater. After he left in 2010, this, of course, is one of the Mike Portnoy albums. After he left in 2010 and has done a lot of other projects and stuff, Mike Mangini on drums, and now they've swapped back. A lot of things leading up to that, a lot of the stories behind that. That is exciting news. The funny thing I thought was funny was the day before that news dropped, I started listening to Dream Theater, and I don't know why. And I was listening to the newer stuff. I listened to the new album, followed up by the previous album, because I'm like, the Mike Mangini albums, they're good, but I just didn't give them as much time, didn't absorb them as much as I did the Portnoy years. And so for that one day, I listened to that, and then I listened to the album before that, and mainly because I had been buying some of those bootleggy type vinyl releases, so it was just kind of like, let's listen to that. And then I went from that to the studio albums, and for like the whole day, it was Dream Theater. And then the very next day, the announcement came out, Mike Portnoy's back in the band, and I'm like, I made that happen. I obviously made that happen. Yeah, anyway. So yes, that was just funny timing there. So that is the news, and this is the fourth release from that band. And this is the album where the label kind of made them do commercial stuff, and it kind of flopped as far as what the expectations were. And so the band was able to do what they wanted to do after that, and they came back strong. This is a great album, but it's definitely shorter songs and a little more commercial. So the band has not always favored that when they were forced to do that. All right, coming up next, and I am skipping live albums. That would have been their 6th release if you counted live albums. And because I'm not counting live albums, we go to Kiss Destroyer. Obviously, Kiss Alive would have been the one that really pushed them over the edge and made them a huge household name. But this was the follow-up album, the 4th studio album, that really, 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 really changed things. Got all the big hits on here. So this is really the one where they really went over the top, and just put them on that upward climb even further with all the big hits. So got to give this kudos. And yeah, this is a recent 45th anniversary issue that is available in box set in multiple different versions. And then moving on to Stryper. Stryper's In God We Trust. Probably the most overproduced, squeaky clean, high range, digital to the max overproduced album. But it's got some great songs on it. And so yeah, the band just kind of really went into technology and went crazy overboard with the production. And Michael even says he spent too much time on the production. But anyway, it's a great album. It was a high point for them. But then after this, they totally took that turn into totally different style. And that's when we had Against the Law. So there you go. And then the last one I do not have on vinyl, and that's Neil Morse's Sola Scriptura. Not had a vinyl release of this yet. It's really tough to call what's his 4th album, but I'm looking at his 4th album based upon when he started coming back out from Testimony on in his more Christian themed music. He has some stray albums that float out there under his name, but this is when it kind of came together as a concerted effort, and this is just an amazing album. It's got Mike Portnoy on drums here, and the songs got very complex. Not that they weren't already before, but it's a very complex, very edgy, a lot harder than some of the stuff prior to this. It's just a solid, great album, telling the story of Martin Luther and the struggle with the Roman Catholic Church. But anyway, it was a great album, and love it. And I'm hoping they do release it on vinyl one day. It's just such a the songs are so long that I think it's hard to break it up on a release. But there you go, 4th by 4, and that's for Robert's on my turntable. Link below, you can jump on this. We got a few weeks before it's over. I'll see you later. Rock on and rock hard.